What's up, family? Welcome back to Truthville, USA. I am Q. A lot of you guys have been asking, hey, Q, why are you always in your truck? Well, for those of you guys that are new to the channel, you guys might not know this, but those of you guys that have been with us for a while, y'all know we have a ranch here in East Tennessee, and so I spend a lot of time running from one place to the next. I feel like I'm in my truck more than I'm in my home. But bear with me, guys. We'll be in the studio here soon, but got a lot going on, and so I definitely want to make sure I get a chance to address it. So, guys, if you're easily triggered, turn this off right now. You're not going to want to hear what I have to say, but I got to get a few things off my chest. If you guys have been paying attention to what's going on in Alabama, you guys probably know that the Alabama Supreme Court made a ruling on embryos, okay, and talking about IVF. Now, the reason why this was brought to Alabama, to the Supreme Court to begin with, was that someone wandered into a lab where the embryos were kept, okay, and we don't know all the reasons behind it, but anyways, a visitor, someone who wasn't supposed to be there, was in this lab, and in their time in the lab, they destroyed, I believe it was 3 different people's embryos. Whether or not it was intentional or not, we don't know that, but they were destroyed. These people claimed that, hey, these were our children, and those embryos need to be protected as children and as babies, okay? Well, this has set a lot of people off, right? And now, of course, the right is afraid of it because they feel that it's another situation like the Roe v. Wade thing. But now we have people making stupid claims like Sonny Hostin over there at The View. Guys, I can't stand when people lie just for the sake of getting views or just for the sake of trying to push a narrative, okay? So this woman comes out and she says that the reason for the anti-IVF bill, which was not, they were just saying we're recognizing these embryos as babies and they're going to get the protection as such. That's it. They didn't say that IVF couldn't take place, but she was saying that the reason why Republicans are against IVF is because they just want more Christian white babies. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? So who's getting IVF exactly? You think that these expensive procedures are being taken by poor people? Absolutely not. Let's talk about the reasons for the declining birth rates amongst, well, everybody, but let's talk about the declining birth rates amongst white people, because she went on to say that because white people aren't having babies as much, they want to make sure that they are not decreasing in population, so they want to do away with IVF, which is totally false, one, and two, the two don't even go together. She's arguing against herself, but of course, most people aren't going to call her out on this stupidity. Okay, so let's go to this. Why don't we just have an honest conversation about why birth rates are down to begin with? Now, she went on to talk about how since the Great Recession, and a lot of that could be because you've got a lot of, well, let's say middle-class people. Okay, I'm not even going to say white. Middle-class people who went through the recession. The cost of everything went so high. We bailed out banks. We saw inflation go through the roof. Our dollar didn't go nearly as far. And now you had people coming out of college with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. And in trying to be responsible, they said, hey, we're going to wait on having kids. So that's one thing. So people have put off having kids until later. Secondly, you have the feminist movement. People saying, oh, I don't want kids, I want to focus on my career, only to find out later in life, many of them do want to have kids. But by that time, they aren't able to have kids traditionally, so they have to turn to IVF. You also have the environmental issue, guys, that nobody wants to talk about, which Sunny couldn't talk about because she's sponsored by Big Pharma. She's sponsored by Big Ag. And she's sponsored by these companies, these chemical companies, that are making it difficult for young people to even have children. Forgive me for the background. That's George. Anyway, so the problem is no one wants to have honest conversations about these things. But don't let anybody push you around. This Alabama bill was not about trying to restrict people from having IVF. What it was trying to do was to bolster the sanctity of life. Where does life begin? If you ask me, I'm not going to back down from it. It begins at conception. That's what I truly believe. And so if people want to have arguments over that, we can argue about it. But I'm not going to back off of that. And I saw that Trump came out and he said, of course he supports IVF. Who wouldn't? If people want to have babies, they should be able to have babies. But then Sunny Hostin went on to the other side and she says, well, really what it's about is it's about anti-LGBTQ, because LGBTQ people have to use IVF in order to have babies. She's stretching. So is it a racist thing or is it an anti-LGBTQ thing? She can't figure it out. These people are so evil. They're so evil that all they can hope to do is sow some kind of discord, sow some kind of hatred to make sure that people are always fighting amongst themselves so that we're not paying attention to the evil that they're doing. Comment below if you guys have been paying attention to this whole IVF thing. If you haven't, comment below. Let's get a conversation started about it, because I think that most of us, even if we come from it from a little different, will agree more than we disagree. But even if you disagree, please, I especially want you to comment. No judgment. I just want to hear what you have to say. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Be blessed.